On this episode of The Whiskey Tornado, we review Wild Turkey Master's Keep 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Whiskey Tornado. I'm your host, Lance. Man, oh man, I am excited for today's episode. As many of you know, Wild Turkey Master's Keep 17-year bottled in bond last year was my favorite bourbon of the year, even though it didn't win in our crowdsourced Bourbon of the Year taste-off. But the Wild Turkey Master's Keep that comes out once a year is always my most anticipated release, as I am pretty much a Wild Turkey fanboy. So when I was able to get this gorgeous, gorgeous bottle, I was so excited. It is, man, I have been waiting for this one. You know, Wild Turkey finally hopped on the toasted bandwagon, and that's what we have here. This is a blend of 9, 10, and 14-year bourbon that's been put in a toasted barrel and then aged at the Tyrone G warehouse. The first time a Master's Keep has been aged at Tyrone G, which is Eddie Russell's favorite warehouse. So my expectations are high. I am going to try to give you guys a fair and honest review of this one because I have been looking forward to this all year. Huge shout out to Ray at Harvest Market who helped me get my hands on this because I don't think I would have been able to without his help. So thank you, Ray. Appreciate you. Let's get into this review. For those of you new to the Whiskey Tornado, let me quickly explain our scoring system. We have 7 categories. We rank 0 to 1, 0.5 being average. First 2 categories are handicap. Those are appearance and availability. Then we move into the important stuff: the nose, the palate, the finish, the body, and the value. At the end, we add all those scores up. Any score of 3 or better is bar worthy. Any score of 4 or better is bunker worthy, meaning buy extra just in case the bourbon you love is no longer made. All right, with all that being said, let's get into the appearance of Wild Turkey Master's Keep 1. I mean, come on, guys. This is the greatest packaging there is on the market. You get this fancy box that has this magnetic opening. You get the most beautiful bottle in the game that has this turkey raised on there. It is just beautiful. The cork is fantastic. Big, heavy cork, beautifully done. It's just a beautiful bottle. I don't know anybody that does it better in the game. We're going to give appearance a perfect score of a 1. All right, moving on to availability. I said this in the last video and I'll say it again. I'm going to review hard to find bottles. This is limited release. It's very hard to find. Sometimes a lot of people get mad on my videos and ask, why am I reviewing bottles they will never find? The reason is you might run across this in a bar or at a dinner. And if you do, maybe this review will help you decide whether to spend $30 to $50 on a pour so that you can taste a bottle that you'll probably never find. Some of you are going to say, well, I'll never spend that much on a pour. Well, fine, don't. I don't care, but I need to review these things for you and let you guys know some of these bourbons are fantastic and worth purchasing, whether on secondary market, whether you luck out and find them on a shelf, or whether you find a pour of it in a bar or a restaurant. So in the end, this is just bourbon, so don't get mad at me, relax. But as far as availability goes, this is a very hard bottle to find. We're gonna give it a 0.1. All right, guys, let's get into the nose on Wild Turkey Master's Keep 1. Oh my gosh. Man, I love this time of year, guys. I have been reviewing some just ridiculous bourbons, one after another. And this is no different. And for those of you that do get mad that I'm reviewing some hard to find bottles, don't worry, December, I have 24 videos coming out. December 1st through the 24th, we're doing our Advent calendar. There are a lot of available bottles in the Advent calendar. So you guys are going to get what you're asking for, I promise. Oh man, the nose on this. First thing I got was like a big note of honey and like dried peanut shells. So very Wild Turkey on the nose. Sometimes I wondered if that like that toasted barrel was gonna kind of hide the Wild Turkey, but not at all. This is definitely Wild Turkey on the nose. You get a lot of honey, big honey notes. That dried peanut shell, some cinnamon, even like green apples. What's coming to mind is those like, you ever had the honey green apple Cheerios? Now, it's not a cereal note, but it's not, there's no youth in this. That's not what I mean. But there is that like green apple honey note with some nuts. There's also a little bit of Rick House in there, a little bit of dusty Rick House. Probably that 14-year bourbon that's blended in here. Definitely tobacco. Oh my God, maybe even a little bit, just a hint of that cherry clove note that I got in the Wild Turkey 17-year bottled and bond. Now in the Wild Turkey 17-year bottled and bond, that cherry clove note is cranked to 1,000. This is like a 5. It's very, very faint. You have to really search for it. But good grief, is this a complex nose? It is really gorgeous. I'm so excited to taste it because if it's anything like the nose, this is gonna blow me away. But this is really close to a perfect nose for me. It's so complex. I'm pulling flavors out. I could spend 30 minutes just nosing this thing. You guys are probably already bored because I've nosed it too long in the video. But I'm gonna give the nose a 0.9. It is beautiful. All right, moving on to the palate. Cheers, everybody. Happy holidays. First sip, a lot of honey, caramel, a little bit of nuttiness, some tobacco there. I was expecting, honestly, a little bit more on that first sip. So let's go into the second sip. Finish isn't blowing me away either. So the flavor went away really quick, making me want to jump back in. This is 101 proof, by the way. So let's go in for a second sip. Big honey note, caramel, again, a little bit of peanuts. Got some butterscotch there. That was nice. There's butterscotch on the palate. But man, it goes away fast. What's there is beautiful. I mean, you could crush this, but at $180, and we'll get into the value on this thing. I don't want this bourbon to go fast. I want to take time. I want to have to take a lot of time between sips at $180. I don't even know what this thing's going for on secondary. So it's going for third sip. Honey, peanuts again. Very Wild Turkey. Ooh. Orange spice. I got some orange spice there, which I get a lot on Wild Turkey. But not a crazy amount of those. Like when I think of toasted, I think of s'mores. So I think of chocolate, vanilla marshmallow, almost burnt marshmallow. I'm not getting a lot of that. Like if I had this blind, I don't know that I would know it's toasted. Now what's there is beautiful Wild Turkey notes. Man, with the Master's Keep stuff, I wish it wasn't at 100 proof. I would really like to taste these things at a higher proof. I don't know. I think it's killing the finish for me. The finish isn't great, but we're still on the palate. The palate's good. It's just not blowing me away. I have such high expectations for this, guys. I'm trying to really like rein it in and then decide, okay, it's not what I wanted it to be, but it is, I don't want to ding it too much because of that. It's definitely a better palate than average, but if I'm being honest, I think I've got to go with a 0.6 on the palate, guys. It's just a little better than average. This would be a fun one to put into blinds for people. I think think they'd kind of be blown away that this was the Master's Keep from this year. And it's not bad. I don't want you to don't get me wrong. This is not bad. It's beautiful. Just, it's oak, caramel, peanuts, a little bit of orange spice, maybe a little bit of tobacco, but not much else. So we're going to give it a 0.6. All right, moving on to the body. So, for 101 proof, it's got a good body to it. It's, there's some nice oiliness, some nice viscosity to it. Again, a little better than average, but nothing that's going to blow you away, in my opinion. So I'm going to give the body a 0.6. All right, let's go to the finish. I'm going to taste the finish one more time here. That honey note, that peanut note, that caramel is gorgeous, but it goes away pretty quick. Pretty quick for what I expect for Master's Keep. Now, if you're comparing this across the board with all other bourbons, I think it's about average. Wild Turkey Master's Keep 1 is good, but for the price, man, it's just, I've had Russell's Reserve picks that are better than this, if I'm being 100% honest. The finish on this isn't bitter, thank God, because I hate that when it's super bitter. The finish on this one is just short. It just kind of, it goes away pretty quick. Now there is some nice barrel spice or rye spice on the back end, but it's just an average finish, if I'm being honest. So we're going to give the finish a 0.5. All right, guys, moving on to value. I got this bottle for $181. Again, thanks so much to Ray at Harvest Market. I'm so appreciative. He knows this is the bottle I was chasing all year. It's the one bottle I wanted. So it's killing me to give this kind of review because I'm a Wild Turkey fanboy. And I was so excited for this bottle. But at $181, I have to give it way less than average. We're going to give the value a 0.3. It may even be lower than that, guys. But it's not going to affect where this falls in my bar-worthy, bunker-worthy score. But I would give it a 0.3. Now, to have it on your shelf and, have a Master's Keep available for guests that come over, a really nice bottle, this is really approachable and fantastic. And I think that people who have not been drinking higher proof bourbons, this might blow their socks off, to be honest. They might actually love this bottle. But for me, someone who drinks a little bit higher proof, someone who wants a long finish, someone who wants, a whiskey to kind of toss you around the room a little bit, it's just not doing it for me. The 17-year bottled in bond had a way longer finish, way more viscosity, way more unique. That bottle was one of the most unique bottles I've ever had. And from one of the top distilleries and their top limited edition they release every year, I expect the best. I want to be blown away. And this just honestly isn't doing it for me. Doesn't mean it's not good, just not doing it for me. Not quite what I expected from a Master's Keep. So at $181, I'm going to give the value a 0.3, and that brings the overall score for this Wild Turkey Master's Keep 1 to a 3.45. So I do have it at bar worthy, but it's not bunker worthy in my opinion. Last year's 17-year bottle and bond was 1,000% bunker worthy. I just have a little bit of that bottle left, and I'm dying. It's one of my favorite bottles ever. This, I think, is really good. It's really good to break out for guests. It's really good to break out for that intermediate bourbon drinker. They might really love this. But for me, I just expected a little more. The value on it really stinks. So that's my score, guys, a 3.45. I really wanted to give it a higher score, but I think that's pretty accurate for this bottle. I do like this more than Russell's 13, just because Russell's 13 was so bitter on the back end. And again, people are calling that their bourbon of the year. I just don't get it. But that's what's great about Whiskey Tube. Everybody's palate is different. So don't take my word for it. Get a pour of this at your bar, taste it for yourself, decide whether you like it or not. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this review, please like, comment, subscribe. I would love to hear from you guys. What did you think of this? What did you think of Russell's 13? What do you think of Wild Turkey in general? And if you want to help support the channel a little bit more, feel free to join our Patreon crew for as little as $2 a month. Links in the description below. We have our Advent calendar videos coming up December 1st. There will be one every day. So I promise you guys, there are some available bourbon reviews coming up for you in December. Hope this helps you guys decide what to buy and what to leave on the shelves. Hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I am so grateful for each and every one of you guys. I really appreciate the support of the channel. Still can't believe we went from a couple hundred subs at the beginning of this year to now we're approaching, we're over 3,000, approaching 4,000 quickly. So I'm so excited to see what the new year brings. But thank you guys again. I'm very grateful for you all. Cheers and happy Thanksgiving, everybody.